Hello everybody and welcome back to Saxlingham. So this is the last pile of timber that we have left to do, which in one sense is great that we've finally finished it because it was taking a fair bit of time, but on another side of it, it's a lot of money that we've just made, and it just means that we are now not going to be making this amount of money for a fair while. But can we get these two in together? Yes. So this is the last two. We've kept it in storage, everything inside this machine. So we are currently, if I just let go of these and then put the crane out the way, which I think we can just turn it off for now. So if we turn it off and fold it up and then hop out. So this machine is 107 tons, which I think 31 tons is the actual machine. So there's that amount. So the leftover is stored wood chips, and we also do have our big trailer full of wood chips. So we are going to go. I think. Oh, I'm in the wrong vehicle. I'll probably put these on follow me and get these up to the top, and we'll sell them how we did last time. So we reverse this in. I don't think it will work to begin with whilst we're inside, but let's get that tipping, and then this should, yeah, there we go. So now that's going over, so that should now continuously fill this up, and our bank balance should keep going up as well at the same time. So as long as I don't enter that tractor, this won't stop working, so this will keep going, which is the main thing. So why is it just okay? That's completely gone against everything I've said. When it drops down, will it go again? Okay, so it's 88,000. If we tip it now, is it going to do it for us? Or is it going to stop selling? I do hope it continues. It makes life a lot easier. What's left in here? So there's still a 70 odd tons worth to go. You're gonna don't go all the way down, please. No. We're still selling. Right, as long as that keeps selling, brilliant. So I will bring you back just before we finish. Right, well we shouldn't be too far away now, and then we'll get a good idea of what was in here when we brought it up. We have sold a load of barley in between this. There we go. Over £400,000 we've just made out of wood that was in here, and obviously we'd emptied a load into there, which was 80, some it was 100,000. So that could be about £500,000. That's mad, isn't it, when you think about it? £500,000 at the start of an episode just made relatively easy. Well, right, and like I was saying, there was a load of barley sold. We do have a worker. If we just go onto the map quickly and look down, there he is. So whether he may have another load of barley on, I don't know. But in the meantime, we're going to go down, and we've got the rest of the straw to sell. So I would imagine that would be our very first time lapse in doing that. I am just going to leave this up here and out the way for now. Which does make me think this may be worth putting a little track in, maybe, to come round here, just to give our workers more space to get away from each other, so they're not always driving into each other. But anyways, it's food for thought. Now let's get down to here. So I am trying different loading areas, because my main thing is to get away from getting in the way of our person trying to do the barley, because we seem to be forever just getting in his way. So how much have we? Yes, it'll be two. What will that be? 2 full loads onto this trailer of straw if we do the part ones as well. So that'll be 30. So that'll be £60,000 each. So I very much hope that the way we're going, we may be able to get to 3 million this episode. That really would be amazing. I know the one thing I'm very conscious about doing this. I know the trigger's very sensitive. It's only just in front of us here. There we go. So that's just sold a load of barley there. So that's what are they doing? 26,000 pounds a time, 26 and a half maybe. Yeah, as I was saying, I know this trigger is very close, and so I'm very cautious that I don't want to be getting bales out to then putting bales back in. And what we may have to do is, just to help the cows out a bit, is get some silage over to them. The remaining silage, I should say, that's in here, get that to them as soon as possible. Do we load at the back first or the front? Let's go for the front. It may make things a bit trickier later on, but it's one of them. We're a bit sort of tight on space now with the way that we've built and expanded this yard. Right, let's go get these three. If they were stacked 4 high, that certainly would make life a lot easier for us. You know, you'd get a lot more bales out. But I know for it to look consistent, 3 seems to be the sort of the magic number. I should get these better on the forks there as well. So I presume this is the last load that we're going to be selling this winter. I think that's pretty much everything now sold, which we're not going to have a year like this again for a long time. I can't see us making almost 3 million. But we now need to think about what we're going to do with all this money. It's a £2.925 million. And that is all, in fact, well, that's all down to wood chips, and those trees that we were chipping seem to be just phenomenal. I'm trying to debate whether to do it again or not, but I'm very conscious that obviously stuff like that we'll be doing, or I'll be doing, in quite a few series, so it's not to overdo it. It was nice to use that chipper that we did use in the end, because I don't think we could have done it without it. But right, we're going to go back to the yard, and I'm going to have a think about what we're going to do, because I've got a few plans that I'd like to do. It all just depends as and when to do them, which with the drilling season coming up, it may be worthwhile to have a look and just make sure I've got it downloaded the productions that we need to become self-sufficient. Also, I would like to try and see, I haven't used it properly, so I don't really know how well it's going to work. If we go on to here, and will it be miscellaneous? You'll see I've got some of FS Miner's tools, where you've got the likes of that, our Cat D6R, and then we've got some even bigger ones, but I'm not spending as lovely as that would be, I'm not spending nearly £1 million on buying something like that. My whole idea with going down these, you've got your road graders as well. The whole idea of where I'm thinking with these is, if you see here you've got the machine logo, that means I can use TERRAFARM, which if I do use that, I may if I was to lease that, what would it cost? It's probably worth just buying it, I would have said, because that's hopefully to make the ground level. Because what I would like to do is, if I show you just in front of us here, if we go on to construction, this is where I'm thinking of going with things, which we can sell these. So well, I say sell, we get rid of them, they don't make us any money. So get rid of these, get rid of that one. I may keep this one at the minute, because if we go factories now, and I just need to try and find them. So we're making our own lime at the minute. Here's one, and we can now with this make our own fertilizer and herbicide. So I'm half thinking it's 40,000, so there's a slight bit of ground defamation change in the ground that would have to happen here, which is where you'd get the dozer involved. With the dozer you'll be able just to flatten the ground out. So there's that one for 40,000, and then there's also this one, which is the seed cleaner, where I'm guessing you fill up by reversing into it and you dump at the front. So that's probably better being here, but we would have to sort the ground out slightly, and then you can just reverse machines in. Maybe this is now the thing that I've got to think about, is where's the best place to put everything. Because I know we've got the sell point, but I'd rather not use it if we don't have to, and if we can make stuff ourselves, even better. We could put it somewhere over here. This may be a better idea. Let's have a look. We try and incorporate the track. I think let's sell these. I think this is going to be a better idea. But I am trying to keep everything somewhat together, so that it's not just left all over the place. But right, let's go. We'll take this. We'll go to the dealership, and I think we're going to go buy that dozer. The one for 150, so we're going to go buy that, and then as well with our money, our combine up there, we're going to keep the combine, but we're going to upgrade it to the biggest possible engine. So there's going to be 300 to 400, even 4,500,000 spent today. But yeah, I'm just trying to be very cautious not to spend all our money in one go. Obviously, I do know this is the wrong trailer to be getting the dozer back, but we should be okay. We can also get our bale wrap back. And whilst we're here, I've been meaning to mention this for a while. We lost our Claas telehandler. Well, the dealership lost the Claas telehandler, I should say. And I couldn't work out what happened and why. And because I'm always adding mods in and taking mods out, I took the Claas telehandler mod out, which meant that we lost it. It was hence why... What would it be now? 20 episodes ago? There was just a pair of forks left, and that was when I got rid of it. So they do have the new... Is it the Song Yang, or whatever it's called? Can't remember, to be fair. Right. Miscellaneous. So let's just have a look. The D6 is 155. If we go on to here, this is where you'll see that we've got... is that the D6? Yeah, 155. I'm just checking that there's no others. So you can actually see how many mods we've got on, which is quite a few. Let's have a look. So I didn't look at these ones. That's 355. I'm guessing these are just going to get more expensive as we go along. More expensive, but probably better. Oh, £1 million there. I haven't found a good excavator that I like, you know, where you can get the bucket as well. They don't seem to fit on the excavators that I like to use in game. Right, so I'm going to guess that's the only one for us to go for. So we are going to go and buy this. So let's buy that up. And there's no combinations for that. So right, we will get this loaded onto the trailer, and we'll also take our bale wrap back. Some machine, isn't it? I wish we had. Obviously, I did download FS Miner, all his buckets and whatnot, but they don't fit onto the excavators that I would want to use. Ah! We're tipping. Oh, we've got, well, that track's too far to the left there. We're just going to have to be careful. But yeah, and I know his excavators, they were all a bit big for my liking. And I did have a problem, I don't know why, with my joystick configuration. It seemed to be throwing it differently than what the ones from Mod Hub do, which was most interesting. Right, let's get back to the yard and we'll have a look to see if we can start to level this ground up. Well, I don't take it much further because that's been rather strenuous. So we leave it here, turn this off, and let's get the straps off. And if we jump into here, you can see that TERRAFARM now has started on the front. I'm going to have to try get off here without making too much damage. Right, so I'm thinking up this top, why can't I lift? Okay, so that's doing the blade side to side. How do I lift? Okay, there we go. I've got to use my other joystick for lifting it. So I think on this right here is where we can maybe look to put the seed cleaner. So let's just have a workout here. So I did try, if we go for smooth maybe, let's turn it on. Let's just see what this does. Okay, it is putting a gravel texture down. How do I change that? Oops. Let me just work out how to change the gravel, although it's not too big a problem, and we can always just go and change it. I also need to work out how to level, which I do know there is the surveying tool, which we may have to have a look at going down that route. Let's just do a bit more, just so we're covering the area that we want to do. But I'm very much looking forward to trying to get, you know, implementing this properly into game. It's kicking out a lot of smoke. Right, let's try figure out how to pull up the menu. Right, so we can texture. Let's change the texture. And will it give us... Just trying to look for the concrete that we have down. We can always just go and place, we can always just do it afterwards. But let's go concrete shattered, shall we? Oh, excuse me. Right, we'll go for that one. Apply. This is... Right, enable machine on. Yes, let's put this... I'm just trying to find out how to soften it. Not soften. So we can go and buy the surveyor. Should we see how that's global settings? Let's see what happens here. So I am very much trying to work this out on the fly. Right, let's see what this does now that we are painting a different texture. Okay, so it's not the texture we want, but it's still smoothing it. And if I ever go around, I'm just trying to think, if I go around this a few times, will it eventually smooth it down? Or if we change it to grade? What's that? Oh, that's putting a lot of stones. I hope I haven't just made a huge mistake doing that. Grading, is that going to make it all the same height? I don't know. Why is that now lifting it? Let me have a mess around. I think the main thing is if anything does go wrong, we can just go back to using the paint tool just to sort it out. Well, I think I'm not too far away at that. I'm just going to turn that off before I do any more damage. The one thing I will change is I won't have the... I'll change the TERRAFARM so it's not on doing, you know, painting the ground for us like that. But we will just see how well I've done, or how badly I've done. So this is £67,000. So I'm thinking of getting it in here somewhere. We do want just this flattening down a bit more and taking back. And I'm hoping, well, if we were to get rid of that bush, maybe we can then get that into there. So if we use the bush as a marker, so we can get that into there. And then there's this one. We could possibly get them both into there. Let me just have a bit of a play. Well, I think that's now a lot better. So if we go to productions, we want to find, where's the seed one? So this one, obviously the main thing is keeping everything out of the way of the auto drive. So these dotted lines, if you didn't know already, is the auto drive. Do we go for this one first, actually? And get this placed in so that we know it's not going to be in the way. I don't know whether do this sideways. Maybe. Oh, this is always the one thing that I hate doing. I'm so indecisive with putting stuff together like this. But if we go, I'm sure there was somewhere where it said that was... There we go, 700. Well, 600, £67,000. So if we put that there, now we can put this one however we see fit. I think it needs to be on the side like that because that's where we're going to be filling up for stuff. So if we go... painting, and are we going to continue with the concrete? Well, that's asphalt. Is that concrete? Is that no? That's asphalt there. I think, considering we're going new buildings here, this should all be concrete. Personally, I did put a mud texture down, which that will be the texture I'll change it to. Change TERRAFARM to, because I think that looks a bit better considering that you're digging into mud and all that sort of thing. Right, this we don't really want it to be on the bank, so let's just pull that through like that. Then this can swing through like so, and now we've got that on. Let's find this, and can I get it so it's somewhat square? So I'm only pulling it to this building so that I can try to square it up with the building. Maybe like that. And then if we try get it something like straight, no doubtedly I'll get this wrong. Just put it back to like there. Maybe. There's plenty of room. But right, let's just get all this stuff off and let's clear the screen. So let's see what we need for these now. Just hoping there isn't too much of a large bump there. So for this, what do we need? What do we need? What do we need? Because I don't really know. We need some weed free. So, some salts and weed free. Will we find these then in here somewhere? This is the easiest way to go, so we'll go for there. So we need weed free. How much do we get in there? 500. So we're going to need a few of them. So if we go 5 of them, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we also needed some of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then whilst we're on this menu, we will, if we go to here, what do you need? Seed treating liquid. We need so much stuff. So let's go, we'll just get one of them. Let's buy that. And it's a good excuse, to be fair, because I don't think we've driven our pickup for a while. So let's turn that off. Let's go jump into here. And I'm hoping we should be able to get everything that we need. It's times like this that I regret selling our... I'm sure. Look at all of them. It's times like these I regret selling our Ife Williams trailer, because that was very, very handy. Now, the dealership, we can use their telehandler. I just need to work out now how to unfold the back, which I can't figure out how to drop the tailgate. So let's just try going with this. And by the way this episode's going, I think it's only going to be 2 time lapses. I don't think I'll have time to do much more with the messing about that we've been doing. So my plan is if I can just drop this into the back of here, and then I didn't mean to hit that, and then we can put all our little bits in. And I would just like to try and get at least one of these productions running properly. So this is how you don't want to load a vehicle up like this at all, or try ram an IVC with some pallet tines. So let's go put this back, or we can put it down here, to be fair, whichever's closest. Leave that there, and now we can start to pick up these, which they shouldn't be too heavy, what I thought. Let's slide up. Don't be like that. Okay, that one stayed in. Right, I don't think you would want to see me try hand load all these into here. And the final one, so we'll just put that in. And I do want to have a look at, if we go this, we'll get the surveyor. I have seen little things of how this works. Do I know how it works myself? Absolutely not. But I think if we do, it will make life a lot easier. Because I would like to try, if we can get away from obviously using the landscaping tool, that'd be quite nice to do things a bit better and a bit more properly, let's say. So let's put that on, and we do have all our wattles are all in there, and we'll make our way back to the yard. So I do have a funny feeling I don't think we're going to be able to unload that pallet because if I remember rightly, with some of these pallets, you've got to have it in a container or in a barrel to be able to do it. But we'll see. Oh no, okay, I was completely wrong, which is very, very good. The one thing that's going to look a bit strange is our surveying tool's going to be stuck up in the air when that goes. Just like that. £4,500 just throw it on the floor. Now, where do we and how do we? So if I take these straps off here, we just want to get this out of the road for now. Should really sort some painting out there. And then let's get into, have I lost some? Or they, is that going to go in there? Why is that? Interesting. Oh, it's gone now. So if I pull this into here, will it then start taking all of these? Like so. So if we go here, so to make these we need some water. Why isn't our seed production come up on here? Why is this not up? Do it need some seeds? I may have messed up here by getting this in. Right, if we go into here and take this, we will have some wheat. This could be then what I was talking about by this. By that, if we put wheat in, it will give us wheat seeds back, maybe. Well, let's see what happens. I hope it's not, because otherwise we're going to have to get rid of it and then try start again with another one. So let's just reverse into there. Let's dump wheat in. And does this, because I can't get into the production, does it start itself? Status running. Cool. Does that tell me how much liquid we've got? Yeah, there's a level in there, so we may be able to get a bit more into that. And a flashing light. This door open? No. Well, let's see what happens here. It's a very expensive way of doing things, I know that. But for this episode, I think that's going to be it. Oh, look, it's got a screen. Didn't see that. So what's that screen for? That is for how much wheat is in there. And then that is the seed treating liquid. So is there a screen for how much seed? Yeah, and then we've got a screen for how much seed's in here. Okay, I quite like this. That's quite cool. We're going to get this all sorted and ready. But yeah, I will now just say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I will see you again in the next one. Bye for now.